welcome back. So today I have a short video on how I make those radish flowers for many of my vegetable trays. They are decorative and edible. These do require several hours, if not overnight, soaking in water, so plan ahead for these guys. To start, of course, you will need some radishes. I sometimes will get the bunches of radishes that still have some leaves and stems on them as they are a little fresher, but the pre-trimmed bags of radishes can be a little more uniform in size, less to trim and clean up. And once the greens are removed from the bunches of radishes, the prices are still very similar, so I normally just get the pre-trimmed bags of radishes. I will sort through them and try to estimate how many I will need and find the largest and most uniform radishes to use for the making of the flowers. They will need a little trimming on the stem side, as a fresh cut will help it absorb water later in the project, and I will trim off any extra root parts that might be still remaining, but try to keep as much of the outer red layer as possible, and give them a good wash. Now I will start cutting the flower petals. I have seen some other people make multi-cuts for each petal to have them show separation from each other, but the radishes will do that automatically once soaked in water, so that is a lot of unnecessary work. These are actually pretty easy to make. These might take a little practice to get a feel on where and how deep to cut, but they don't have to be perfect. I find the more I try to make things very uniform and perfect, the petals just break or don't turn out as perfect as I was hoping. With the stem side down, start around the top 1/3 from the top and make a thin but not too thin of a slice, maybe between a 1/16 to 1/8 inch thick, downward toward the stem side, and stop cutting before the cut is complete to leave the petal intact. And repeat this 5 to 6 times around the radish to try to keep each petal side by side, but not cut into the previous petal. It might be hard to see the cuts, but then you will want to start on the second row, and you will stagger your cuts from the first, but you will not be making full petals. You will want to start a little bit closer to the top to capture some of the red layer, and then slice down with the tip of the knife to try to make that new cut, but not cutting into the previous row of petals, and still not cutting all the way through the radish. But you still need to cut deep enough that when the petals expand, they will push out a bit. Again, this might take a bit of practice to get a feel how deep to cut these. Then you repeat the process for a third and maybe fourth row before you run out of space near the top. Each new row will get cut a little less deep to help keep everything intact. Then at the top, I will use the point of my knife and stab an X or multiple X's, make those cuts deeper in the radish, but still not going all the way through, and careful not to cut into any of your previous cut layers. This will help the water soak in and help push the petals apart and keep from having a solid radish chunk at the top. Then I will just place the cut radish in a container of cold water and it will do its thing. Please ignore the 2 celery sticks soaking in water here. That is for another project. And I first put this in a pretty small container, but you will need a much larger container as the radishes will expand and they can get stuck if you use something too small. I will upgrade that a bit later. I will do the same for each radish. Now I get a larger container to soak these in. Then I place the radishes soaking in water into the refrigerator. It might take a few hours to notice them start to expand after absorbing the water, but it might be best to do this the day before so they can absorb all that they can, and eventually they will stop absorbing water, so leaving them longer will not do much other than keep them moist until you are ready to use them. They can last a week or 2 in the water. Well, that is about it. They look harder to make than they really are, as long as you are not trying to go for perfection, as it is probably not worth the headache, and they will still turn out great. I recommend just practicing with a few for fun. And grab a bag of radishes and trim and soak them into flowers and place them on a chilled dish for decoration, or on each guest's dinner plate just to fancy things up a bit. Thanks for joining me. If you found this video entertaining or helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel for more future fun projects. Well, that is it for now, so I will see you next time and have a wonderful rest of your day.